If you've got special magics and stuff that make me punch a little bit harder, that's all good.
Oh, I'm sure I can do that for you.
He does look very punchy.
I'm quite punchy, yeah. Quite punchable as well. Taking a few hits.
I've always been rather partial to setting things on fire.
You see, he tilts his head back. He's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this, and just hands it to Sia.
Xeheria takes the warhammer and she just falls straight over. I know, this is really cool, isn't it? I don't think I can...
If he picks up, does he pick up Xeheria with the warhammer?
I'm having a great time. I really am.
I can see your little hooves.
I think I did quite well.
I think you did excellent. I'm very impressed. Cough up, Daven.
Daven, Mike.
hey! I'm not poor.
Luke's twitching over there. I've noticed.
Yes, it's okay.
Oh gosh. I'm just looking at Tony's face.
We are Roll the Damn Dice with extra guests who we'll get around to in just a second. But this is going to be our festive little 2-session one-shot.
That you'll get over 4 episodes.
It's a miniature thing that's not a whole nother story that I'm running, and we'll leave it at that. But yeah, we have, obviously, as always, we're sponsored by the lovely Critic, who's made our DM screen, our dice trays, nearly all the dice we use. There we are. We've got giant dice as well.
Coasters.
You need coasters, right?
Oh, we're all just going.
It would just
Everything
gesture. They didn't make the screen yet, but the fancy screen, but get on a Critic. All is better, but you could make your own.
You could like make flourish it for us.
Yeah,
like,
that's it. That's one. But yeah, I mean, I'll hand it over to our guests to introduce who they are and who we have joining us.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
You're way more organised than I am.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so we are from To Have and To Roll.
Hello.
Hello.
Where's my camera?
Your camera's that one.
Where's my camera?
I've been like looking everywhere. I'm making this a
yours is that
nightmare
one.
for them. Got it. Yes, we are from To Have and To Roll. We are a husband and wife duo, and we create content on live action roleplay, Dungeons and Dragons, cosplay, and we do this all on our Twitch stream and on our podcast and on YouTube.
Go check out.
Did I miss anything?
No, I
oh,
added-
we
I added
we
that
we,
little
we
bit.
specialise in 2-person D&D.
2-person
so
D&D,
yeah, you don't need a whole group. You
No,
can
you
play
don't-
it just with your
you don't need
buddy
a whole
or
group.
your
So what are we doing
yeah.
here? Let's go.
So yeah, you guys can piss off me.
I'll leave it to you all.
And also, speaking of Critic and To Have and To Roll,
Oh yes.
there's a bit of a link there.
Oh,
as
well,
well.
there
There
is.
is a link. Do
Are
you
they
want to
coming
do
to the link
this one
later, though?
I don't know.
Link now.
We'll do the
I'll
link
be
now.
doing now.
Link? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So today we are playing our 2 wonderful bards who are Annelisse and Daven, and they are bards that you can play from Critic's very own Glorious Taverns. So they have their own character sheets and backstories and everything there, and you can head over to the Critic website and get your own copy of that.
Glorious Taverns is, I've said it so many times, is definitely one of the best D&D compendiums. So many cool NPCs, characters you can play, and
It's really
lots
fun.
of taverns.
Yeah.
Lots of getting drunk.
2 of the best buttons ever.
How would you feel?
That's
The drinking rules from there are amazing.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how they work for a drunken monk, who's meant to get more skilled the more drunk they get.
Yeah, all right, we get it. Well, your stick is a bit too spicy for you.
How would you guys feel like if you were watching a stream where people were playing your characters and they were doing, you felt they were playing them better than you were?
I don't think that's possible.
No,
I would probably message him and be like, I have some notes.
Here's a gentle stop and desist, cease and desist.
Yeah. This will all make sense when you see how I play Daven. It's fine.
Yes, no, that's very Daven.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, with that, we'll go around the table. We'll introduce our players, their characters, and some other bits of pieces of information, such as where you were when you got your invite for the festival and how you made your way over.
Sure. So I am playing Bright Morning. I'm Paul. I'm playing Bright Morning Star, who is an Aasimar light cleric, and right in the very far southwest corner of the Thousand Islands is a little archipelago of sort of volcanic islands on which Aasimar and Arakora live in harmony. So there's lots of Aasimar-Arakora mixes, but Bright Morning Star is just an Aasimar, and he is the Oracle of Apollo. So he mainly just lives on the top of a mountain in a lovely sort of Greek-looking temple. And but he's a badass. He's learned to fly. It's mostly paladins. A lovely paladin from another story that I used to play. This is where he learned to be a paladin, anyway.
Paladin. Okay.
Paladin land.
I want to
go. Yes, but he's the cleric, and he's got this information, and he just assumes, hey, well, obviously, if there's some sort of competition going on, they're going to want Bright Morning Star. And he will have sailed. I imagine the ships they make are sort of white and sort of just gloriously glide through the water as if they're not being powered by anything.
Hi, I'm Joy Amy, and I am playing a Tabaxi Pact of the Fiend Warlock. She is the 27th of the litter. And there is a familial naming convention whereby when you have a new litter of kittens, you take a map, you close your eyes and you point and you name the kid whatever you're pointing at.
Oh, nice.
And so her brothers and sisters got some beautiful names from the Thousand Island continent. Unfortunately, when she was born, her mum managed to point at the key, so her name is Coastal Village. Technically, it's a symbol of a little sailing boat next to Coastal Village, but that's quite difficult to say. She is currently working as the Warlock advisor to the Prince of Shinak. He is a young playboy lad of a prince, and she's very, very bored of basically just looking after him, pretty much babysitting him. So when she receives her invitation, she pretty much drops what she's doing and just leaves, and later days it. And she also takes a boat, but she is a cliche of a tabaxi, so water is not her favourite thing. So she spends the journey as far away as possible from the water, so in the middle of the upper deck, just clinging to the mast with her claws. And that's Coastal Village.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I am playing everybody's favourite satyr, Xeheria. She's back again, as annoying as ever. And she's a satyr wizard, and she's really irritating for those who haven't met her. Lucky for you. So she's kind of just, she's here, there and everywhere. She's a bit of a traveller. She'll goes around, mainly because she gets bored really easily. So she wants to explore all the new things as quickly as possible. She's just hanging around, and then she kind of basically gets headhunted because she's that kind of girl. She's an it girl. So she gets a bit headhunted, and they're like, "Oh, you should come to this festival." She doesn't get headhunted; they just see her, and they're trying to sell tickets, sell invitations. But she's like, "Oh, of course, I'll come. This is going to be great." And so she goes, and she also goes by boat, and probably spends the majority of the time right at the end doing a full-on Titanic thing, and
with herself.
Yeah, probably. She probably found some people to get involved, or someone to get involved beforehand, and then she kept talking, and they were like, "Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this." That is Xeheria, and that is me.
Hello, I'm Oliver. I'm playing Daven, the half-elfin bard. Daven is very opulently dressed. Think long golden locks, the typical elvish good looks.
Wow, cool.
He's a bit of a. He used to be a thespian, a little bit of a failed actor, but he doesn't mention that. He looks like he wears lifts in his shoes as well. And he spends his time in taverns trying to get as much attention as he can. And that's Daven.
Where did you get the invite?
Oh, you probably stole it from someone.
I should be at this festival.
I should definitely be at this festival, especially if there was mention of like shopping or something.
Okay.
And I think Daven would be well up for it. Anything festival, bright lights, good
Nice.
time.
Oh,
Okay.
hi, I'm Stephen, and I will be playing Lukas, the human-ish barbarian. Lucas is a native to the plug hole, so he has that accent. The one that me and Tony decided is the accent of the plug hole. And he was part of the champion fight arena ring, where previous characters like the wonderfully diverse half-elf Lahan, who's tattooed and dark-haired, and that's totally fine for an elf to be tattooed and dark-haired. And a big guy whose name escapes me now. But he heard from Lahan about Domania, and rather than doing fights for entertainment, he was like, I'm going to spend some time there, because it feels like there's things you can really beat up there. And he was forever changed by what happened in Domania, which will become clear later. Lucas mostly works as security detail for the good guys, for good kings and good rich people. It's how he makes his money. He doesn't associate with bad people if he can avoid it. But when he got his invite, he would switch between boats, and whenever he was on land, he would just run. He would just run. Run as fast as he could to the festival.
Okay.
Nice. Hello, I am Robyn, and I shall be playing the half-elven bard Annelisse. She is a College of Lore bard, and she has these sort of long auburn red-tinged hair. She wears lots of purple silks and lots of jewellery. She likes to be quite flamboyant and likes to catch the eye of others around. She spends most of her time in taverns, mainly with Daven, who may think he's stealing the limelight, but he's really not. And when she was offered to come to this festival, she thought, well, of course, I've got so many invites, you know, I'm sure I can come and bring my wonderful bardic talents, and I'm sure Daven can come along as well.
It's a backup.
Okay, so before we start you off at the gates of this festival, some of you may know more details than others about the origin story of where this festival all started, but the general known part of it is about 500 years ago. A dragon from the astral plane itself came down to attack the lands, and different heroes and adventurers from the nearby areas banded together and trained these beasts, now known as blink drakes, in order to chase the dragon through the skies and around the islands before they eventually brought it down onto the mainland itself. And then there was a grand battle over the course of a few days before the dragon eventually fell and went silent and disappeared back into the astral plane itself. And now, as part of to honour the festival, every 20 or so years, an avatar of this dragon once again comes down and is reenacted. The story and the legends of other heroes pulled from all over the Thousand Islands are invited to come and take part and reenact and be these heroes from this tale a long time ago. And that's where you are going to be. And we're going to start you off, having arrived at the gates of the festival. Your tickets have been seen. However, before you're allowed fully into the heart of the town itself, you're asked just to step to one side and wait in what's known as a gazing tent. Just to wait until the Lord of the Shattered Coast comes to greet you properly. And as you are ushered into this, immediately you get sort of the smell of cinnamon and chocolate. Is this whole tent, this whole circular tent. The floor is pretty much just pillows and blankets and all sorts of just comfy things to lie about and relax on. And the top of this tent is open. It's completely open to the sky, so you can see all the stars and the night sky. And for any of you that sort of ventured nearby or maybe travelled to the festival before, it's to watch the grand event. They have the start of the night is all about festivities and games and trials of people trying to prove themselves to have a little bit of the skill and strength of these heroes of ancient times. So yeah, we'll start you off all in your tent. There is in the middle. There's a sort of a raised dark wood table that's already got drinks laid out on it. There is a few alcoholic ones, but for the most part, it's sort of like native teas and hot chocolates and spiced sweet drinks. And we'll let you all give you all a little moment for your characters, if some of them have met obviously before, or if you've never met each other before.
So we pulled into this tent, were we?
Yeah, you're sort of ushered in. A lot of you see the officials tend to be in long black and purple robes, wearing very ornate dragon masks. And he would have ushered you across, opened the tent door, and just stood to one side and let you all in.
Do you think this is normal, Annelisse?
I don't know, actually. I mean, like, it seems a bit weird just getting pulled into a tent. I mean, aren't we here as, like, a bit of an attraction, though?
Just watch out for people putting on rubber gloves, okay?
Oh, Daven, that happened one time, okay? And we don't only to hear about it every
It
time.
makes me nervous when I get pulled aside.
Well, to be fair, this is the VIP tent, isn't it?
That makes sense, no.
Well, it's got to be.
VIP.
There's like chocolates, there's sweets, there's pillows, like all a bit fluffy from our taste, but seems very VIP.
Coastal Village is fluffing up, like plumping up the pillows with her claws. Before it looks like she's going to sit down, and then she doesn't sit down. She plumps it up a little bit more, turns around, plumps it up a little bit more.
How long before she knocks something off a table?
I mean, it is quite spacious. It's about sort of 20 feet across in there, so it is designed for about sort of 10 or so people to lie down in and look up and watch the event.
So as bright morning star, as he enters the tent, he will cast light upon his breastplate, and he already has you already feel the morning sun in his presence, and so he'll just come in and he'll say, "Hi, how are you?" And he'll just go to each person one by one. Probably start with the tabaxi. He said, "Hi, how are you?"
You can stand there. I'm going to sit here, but if you could just stand there, that would be very, very nice.
Well, I would love to, ma'am, but I have to go and meet everyone else.
Well, while you're over there, get me something.
Well, very good. Well, what can I get?
Something that smells like paint stripper. And
is he just going to carry on? I mean, I can carry on. I feel like I'm taking over DMing duties. Sprite's sort of... so yeah, he'll go to Xeheria and says, "Hi, how are you? Those are awesome legs."
Oh my god, thank you. I'm really good. Well, thank you. It's lovely to meet you. Could you get me a paint stripper as well?
I'll get them to circulate the drinks. I'm sure there's people to do that for us. I don't normally get my own drinks, obviously, because I'm Bright Morning Star, the Oracle of Apollo. But don't let that, I'm just like you.
Xeheria's nodding as if there's nothing going on in there.
So he'll come round to Daven and say, "Hi, Daven," and he holds his hands out.
Oh, is that your arm, or are you just happy to see me?
Well, I am very pleased to see you. And he'll shake your hands. "I'm Bright Morning Star. I'm the Oracle of Apollo." But
that is fascinating. Can I get you a drink?
Of what you can see, it's just the table in the middle of this one. It's got all pre-prepared drinks, a few pictures here and there, but for the most part, it's all already out in sort of copper and clay mugs.
I'll start pouring wine.
Oh, you're a good man. What was your name? I'm sorry, I didn't catch it. Daven.
Daven Ryder.
Daven Ryder. That is a fine name.
And does he?
Hang on. Not a Von Ryder, right?
Yes.
Oh, God.
This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Oh, you started them again now. He's not going to stop.
Okay. So it's sort of all the light commotion, but commotion going on in the tent. I think Bright's certainly been heard from everyone.
And seeing he's cast light in 30 feet around him.
Yeah, it's almost to anyone outside. There's just this beam of light coming out of the ceiling. But no, after sort of about 5 or 10 minutes or so, you've had your drinks and everything. The tent flap opens again, and almost having to stoop over double to make their way inside. is a dark-furred furbolg. Makes his way in, and he's dressed in very elegant, but again, very dark purples and blacks within his robe. You can see he's got, instead of the dragon mask that all of the other officials tend to have, he's got a large sort of brass pendant around his neck that hangs in front of his chest, and that's got the symbol of the dragon head on that one as well. And he sort of, as he stoops in and stands up, he says, "It's my name. I am Lord Molintal of the Shattered Coast, and I assume you're all my wonderful guests for this evening."
Yeah, I assume so. Right. So what's the payment issue with this? Like, how much are we getting paid?
This guy.
I'm afraid no payment.
Oh, they're paying us. Oh, right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Hang on. Wait. What?
I can only offer you honour and glory and your name put in our book of legends.
Ah, fuck that. I got that already. Where's? Oh, it's annoying. Glory.
That's what we do it for.
Good. I'm glad. Then it should be a lot of fun. A true test for your skills, perhaps.
Oh, I think needs to see how your invitations are worded, mate. It's very misleading. Very misleading.
Darling, I've spent the past 2 months just standing around while a bloody prince chooses different types of soup for his next party. I just want a scrap.
Yeah, there's trials for that. I'll give you a quick rundown. I can see some of you are quite eager. First of all, one more quick introduction, and he from his robe pulls out this small box, a small black wooden box, and he puts it down on one of the cushions in front of him as he kneels down, and there's a few clasps, and puts his hand on the top, and this sigil begins to glow, and as he opens up the box, this small gold mechwork dragon makes its way out and crawls out of the box and onto the cushions in front of it, and as it sort of stands up on its hind legs and does a quick bow, Molin says, "This is Gliston. He's going to be your tour guide and a judge of character for the evening. He'll guide you to any of the festivities, any of the trials, the scraps you wish to go to for the evening. And then, do any of you know about the grand event towards the end? It's your main part for the evening."
Well, the invitation didn't really say very much about what was happening. But festival and dragon, I assume there's something to do with the Astral Dragon. I know Astral Dragon comes, every 20 years. We do a thing, but I don't really know much of the details.
Good. I do like it when it's a surprise. In that case, I know our traditions don't reach too far across the Thousand Islands, but for the main part, we'll have you just explore and enjoy the festival this evening, and then towards the end of the night, when the Astral Dragon's avatar comes down, we'll have you all be reenacting the champions of the original legend. Some of you, decide throughout the night, some of you will be riding upon blink drakes to chase the dragon down and attempt to weaken it slightly, as the rest of you will then be going around all of the towers to try and add extra pressure to the dragon. But I must admit, it's all a bit much for me. You'll have more details on the fight itself later on this evening when we gather you. But for the most part, rest, have fun, try out the trials, and I will see you in the Grand Tower later on this evening. And I will, of course, leave you in the good hands of Gliston. He'll, as I said, he'll guide you around anything you need to know, anywhere you want to go. He'll be your tour guide for the evening. And with that, he stands up and takes a bow and makes his way out of the tent. And Gliston will rear up and, okay, so who of you is going to be my transportation for the evening? I'm afraid I don't have too much go in the legs and the wings. They're all just for show. So if someone would do me the honours of carrying me for the evening, I'd love that.
Oh, please, could I please carry you? I've never asked that of someone before, but you're just so adorable. You could sit on my shoulder or like in my arms, or I don't know. You can go anywhere.
Excellent. And he'll scamper over, sort of tripping and stumbling over a few of the cushions to get towards you.
Well,
And
that
then-
is one lucky glisten.
And he'll just sort of, as he gets about 2 or 3 foot from you, he'll just shout, "Okay, and catch me!" And he'll jump and use the wings. It slows his descent, but he's going to fall. He has complete trust in you to catch him at this point.
I catch you.
Yeah. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully done. That sometimes goes poorly. Okay. And he sort of starts gazing around the rest of you. So, is there anything you want to know first, or do you just want to go and get stuck into the festival?
Sorry, did someone say fight earlier? I'm sure I heard someone say
Yeah,
fight.
someone said
Yes.
something about fighting.
Yes. So there's 5 trials throughout the festival. That if you are successful, you'll have a slightly more difficult version, as these trials are open to everyone. But you, being our heroes for the evening, will have the heroic versions to try and do.
I'm a hero always.
Yeah,
Okay.
we only play on God mode.
Excellent. I'm sure you'll put on the best spectacle we've ever seen. So, yes, there is one that's a fight of sorts, if you wanted to head to that one first, or it's entirely up to you.
Is it play fighting? Like,
You'll
all
be
special
fine.
effects,
You
right?
can do some fighting. You'll be fine.
Coastal's going to pick up a drink at random from the table, hand it to Xeheria, because she also
Thank you.
asked for a drink earlier and still hasn't received it.
Also, the service here is diabolical, but it's perfectly on, so it's absolutely fine.
Picks up one for herself, downs it, and knocks another one off the table.
Hey.
I'm up for a fight if there's one going. Seriously, I'm so bored.
Okay, excellent.
Hey, Daven, my man. I mean, I'm not a hand dirty kind of guy. You would want to get, me and you, we can probably hang back.
oh yeah, we'll be supportive.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
absolutely fine. If you've got special magics and stuff that make me punch a little bit harder, that's all good.
Oh, I'm sure I can do that for you.
He does look very punchy.
I'm quite punchy, yeah. Quite punchable as well. Taking a few hits.
I've always been rather partial to setting things on fire.
You can see he tilts his head back. He's like, you know what? I think there is a trial for that. I think there's a trial where you could set something on fire. I'm sure we'll find one for you. However, I mean, if you want to make your way straight to the fight, then we can head there. If you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And sort of he goes to move and then realizes he's about to fall off your shoulder.
If you want me to walk, we could do like a weird sort of thing. You could like tap my shoulder if you want me to walk.
Yes. Okay. And
Okay.
yeah, he's like he taps his paw to the right side. That means right. That means left. If I don't do anything, keep walking.
Okay, great.
Okay. So, I mean, he attempts to steer. Okay. So he attempts to steer you out, and as you leave this tent and make your way through sort of a small opening in a forest, you make your way out into this grand sort of. I've got a fancy map. So for anyone, so we are all going to be in the main city on the main island here. You're currently entering just at the gates over here, and as you make your way through into the main of the city, you can see it's already full of life. There's sort of normal festival goers. There's a few sort of assistants and that of the festival, again wearing those long purple robes and the ornate dragon mask, but for the most of it, it is filled with families and children and all sorts of people from all over the Thousand Island continents. You can see all your normal things you'd expect from a carnival of sweet stalls and food stalls and smaller games and bits and pieces like that going on. But for the most part, everyone just seems to be having a lovely time. And I mean, let's just see. I'm going to have a quick roll. Okay, so he does a relatively decent job of guiding you. He's sort of, for the most part, he forgets every now and then. He's like, oh, and then he like quickly taps on the left to turn left, and yeah. So you make your way through a few bits and pieces, and then the first trial that you'll arrive at, you see a clearing made of all the stalls and all the bits and pieces are set aside, and there's a thick, like a sailor's rope that's made a big circular ring in the middle of this clearing. And you can see a sort of judge, again, wearing these robes and the dragon mask stood at the front with his arms sort of tucked inside each sleeve, looking round, and every now and then as you're approaching you can hear him call out, is there any competitors, any early competitors with your strength still in you, ready to take part in the battle this evening? And he just sort of be looking around, and certainly as soon as he sees Gliston on your shoulder, he'll be, but first we have our heroes. He sort of looks to all of you as you turn up.
Yes, that's right.
You put a hood on him or something. So you would have shouted as the heroes every time they
Well,
see
we are the heroes.
You what?
Bright is Willa cast a light again on himself. That's how we go.
As if I needed any more proof. Okay, then. And he sort of gestures to all of the normal festival goers that are milling around. He says, prepare for, I hope, quite the spectacle as our first heroic trial takes place. And you can see at this point from a small tent off to the side of this circular pit of sorts, a very gruff, burly looking dwarf makes his way out, and he's sort of just dusting what looks like a white chalk powder off his hands, and he steps into the middle of the ring. He says, who will be my first competitor?
Yep, that'll be me.
Okay, so as you step in, the official just puts his hand on his shoulder and explains, okay, so this is a no weapons fight.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is a battle of sorts to either trip up or down your opponent 3 times,
Right.
or push them or drag them or throw them out of the ring just the once.
Right, okay.
Do either of those 2 and you can move on to the next phase.
Cool. Cool.
Okay, and with that he sort of just gestures you step into the ring, and at this point a crowd is starting to gather around the outside again of just the festival goers, families and children and all sorts. Some with drinks and food, all eager to see this fight, this battle take place.
You said no weapons,
Yes.
but I do have a shield on me. Is a shield class as a weapon?
Okay, yeah, so the dwarf eyes you up and, yeah, go on then, you can keep it.
Cool. Because what Lucas is going to attempt to do is throw the shield at the dwarf, but then chase after the shield, do a sort of backflip motion and kick the shield into the dwarf, hopefully pushing him out of the ring.
Okay, so with that plan in mind, as
Which
you
I should
do,
have raged first.
it's okay. So yeah, the dwarf stands to one side and you to the other, and this circle's only sort of about 15 foot across.
Right.
Okay, and the judge steps in, stands before you, and says, "And let our first battle of the night begin." And let's. I was almost going to say the wrong thing. Roll the damn dice just for a quick initiative.
Oh, okie dokie.
See who can move first in a view on this dwarf.
I've got 14.
Oh, okay, so he's got an 8. So, as he sort of dusts off his hands and looks down at the ground for just a second, you're able to act first. You've got a gap of about 5 foot.
As he just goes to leave us, Bright Money Star will just tap him on the shoulder and say, "You got this, buddy." And with that, you get guidance, so you can add a D4 to any ability check.
Lush.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to stick to the plan. It's not the shield isn't to hurt him. It's just that it's going to sort of knock him off his feet because dwarfs are sturdy, right?
Yeah.
And then with the shock of that's when Lucas is going to sort of backflip, kick into the shield, which then will hopefully push the dwarf out.
Ooh, okay. So let's roll a roll for an attack to start with.
Okie dokie.
We'll give you advantage as he's sort of looking down at the floor as well, and you've caught him off guard and moved faster than he's expecting.
I will add a guidance to that. No, I don't need to. It's 24.
24.
24.
Okay, so
yeah.
it goes to plan. You throw the shield, you plant your feet, and then let's have an opposed strength check as you kick off in an attempt to shove him back.
Straight strength, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
24.
Wow, well, I've got in total an 8. So, yeah, you kick off, and he's just completely taken off guard. It's early in the night. You're one of the first people to stand up as well. And he staggers almost right the way back to the rope.
Right.
And he sort of wobbles over it. My rolls for tonight. So he staggers back up to the edge of the rope, sort of leans backwards, trying not to fall. Rolls a 2. And falls backwards, almost on his back, half in and half out of the ring, just looking up very confused as, what? It's normally a lot longer than that. Looks quite sheepishly round to the audience, and
I hate hearing that.
Elisa looks over to you and, oh, well done. And then sort of very, with his head bowed, makes his way back round into the tent. And again, with a quite confused judge that hadn't really fully left the ring yet, turns back round and, I mean, it's fantastic. A show, I'm sure. And then all the audience throw up applause and cheers.
Yeah, thank yous. Yes, yeah. What I do, yeah. Cool. Pick up my shield.
Hey. And then, are you wanting to stay in the ring or to tag out? You can tag out with someone else if you're starting to feel tired, perhaps.
You do know Lucas.
Maybe not. But I'll warn you, if you or any of your companions get either ringed out or dropped 3 times, you only have 2 attempts at this trial.
Stay in the fight. You always got this.
I'll stay on in.
Do 3 is this man.
Yeah.
Okay. And he sort of gestures to one side of the ring, says, and take your place, and we'll meet your 2nd level competitor.
Oh,
Did you use your D4, by the way?
I did, yeah.
So
Okay.
he's gonna. You did real well. You did really well, and you've got guidance again.
Ah, nice. Is that one-time use, or is it?
It's a cantrip.
Cantrip. So yeah, let's just do that.
My rolls tonight have been a 3, a 2, and a 3. As the judge does not see you do that, I'm going to use a different dice. Okay, so as you take your place in the ring,
Yeah.
again, the small tent that the dwarf made his way out of opens again, and stepping out in being a barbarian, very near the same sort of gear you'd expect, but a huge orc woman, sort of built to a similar build of you, like huge muscles, toned. Yeah, she sort of steps her way out and sort of cracks her knuckles and her neck, and sees your shield, and she goes, no, a fair fight with me.
Yeah. I'm gonna pop it on my back.
Okay.
So I'll keep my AC bonus, but
Okay. And as she makes her way to her point in this ring, she does not break eye contact with you, and she almost goes down into a sort of stance. You'd see it like the start of a running race. So
Okay.
down with her hands on the floor, one leg back, and like poised to charge. And again, the invigilator stands to the side and goes 3, 2, 1, and roll for initiative again.
I think I might be in love.
Oh wow! Okay, she's faster.
21.
Oh, I've got a 20. So
Oh.
both of you take off at the exact same point almost, but you're just a fraction of a second quicker.
And with
And what's your
that,
plan?
we'll just turn to my shoulder and just bash. So the force that she's coming at me with,
Yeah.
just that split second that I'm faster, I turn to my shoulder and put all my weight and strength behind. So the force that she's coming with almost will propel her back.
Ooh, okay, so let's go for an opposed strength check again. She's gonna absolutely barrel into you as hard as she can.
That is 18, but let's put guidance on for 19.
Oh, so she's got a 19 as well. So you're anticipating this. You dig your feet in, you brace yourself, and she just hits you, and it's like just a mace hitting a wall. So neither of you move, but it's almost you know that's going to bruise in the morning. That was a hell of a. And she just sort of chuckles and grunts. Let's see if you can keep your foot in again. And with that, she almost shifts her grip to be around your waist,
Okay.
and starts to like hunker down and start slowly trying to drive you back towards the edge of the ring. So you can either do a strength to try and oppose her, or a dexterity to try and almost jump to the side or twist to the side to let her momentum drive her past you.
Don't finish too quickly this time.
Yeah.
I'll inspire. I'll inspire this.
I think inspire this. Okay.
Inspiration.
So
Okay.
Bardic inspiration, cool. D8.
D10.
D10
Yeah,
for
wow.
level.
From me, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Let's try D10. Right, can I try an acrobatics to swing out of her grip?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, instead of trying to like push back against her, you try and roll to the side.
So 21.
Oh, so again, just like she's got a 20. So again, not with any huge success, but you do just twist. You don't throw her off balance,
Yeah,
but
that's
she
right.
does lurch a couple of feet past.
But now I'm behind her, I kind of want to grab around her waist and do that wrestling over the head thing.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's roll again, opposed strength or a grapple type check.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, we're definitely going to put a D10 on that. 5, 7, 17.
Okay, so she's rolling that 20. So, seeing sort of, again, her style seems to be more of a wrestling type, almost knowing what you're going to do, she shifts her grip and almost puts herself into the position you were trying to get into, and roll a dex save with disadvantages. Instead of going to throw you like you were about her, she very quickly pulls her leg round to try and trip you up.
So my dex save will be straight, because obviously barbarian, I have advantage on dex saves. The danger I can see, and I feel like I'm in danger. But it's only 10.
10.
Use the bardic, yeah.
So she does this whole maneuver, throwing you off. As she spins you around, she trips your leg and you hit the ground. And the judge shouts, 1 down to the hero. And she at this point lets go and you back off, and the judge says, are you willing to stay or tap out to one of your companions?
Lucas, one more shot.
Excellent.
There's many left.
Let me just afford me this little thing.
You're an idiot, darling, but you're very brave.
Can I
You got
attempt to cast a spell and not get noticed?
And at this point, so the judge is sort of making sure everyone's stood, so it would be disadvantage on his perception check, as he's currently looking to make sure the two
I
competitors
don't
stood
have to
right.
do it. I only have to do a verbal component of the spell.
Okay.
So there's only...
Okay, and there's noise, there's all the festival, there's people cheering, and you can probably hear someone in the distance trying to slyly make bets. But yeah, go on. If you roll
I'm
for it,
going
I'll
to
roll
toll the
perception.
deck. What do you want me to do? Just roll...
I'll roll perception just to see if the judge hears. No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
You need to do... I don't know whether to just do the full damage. It's only a cantrip. But you have to do a wisdom saving throw.
And is this
To the orc, yeah.
a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Against 18.
She has failed.
Oh.
She has failed.
How much damage should I do?
Oh,
All of
dear
it.
Lord.
All of it? Okay.
Oh, whatever.
Has she taken any damage in this fight thus far?
1 point for both of you for that initial clash.
Yeah,
on the
sounds
shoulders.
bad.
Unlucky. I'm going to kill her.
What?
Oh, good.
No, you
Lord.
It's a friendly match.
You said full damage.
No, but I didn't. That's what Stephen said. Lucas doesn't want that. Lucas wants a fair fight.
But Stephen
Oh,
wants
look
to
how
shoot
badly
us.
I rolled. It's fine.
Okay, good.
So it's 7. That's on. So it's 3d12 and 1d8. I'll just do this. I won't add the bonus. So
Okay.
It's 7. It's just she just hears like this ringing in her head, like a sort of graveyard bell.
Okay.
He's literally just put his shield up, pointed, and
Okay, how much damage was it total?
it's just 7.
Just 7
Of
points of damage.
3d12. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
So as she takes her position again, taking that sort of that running stance of hands and knees on the floor, she almost slips with one hand for a second, and as she she coughs quite violently and just wipes her mouth, and there's a bit of blood on her hand, and she gives you a scowl and then looks quickly round to the audience. She doesn't notice, but you can see sort of the sort of friendly challenge. There seems to be a bit of not hateful determination, but now there's like
There's
you're
a
going
healthy
down
competition
now.
And Lucas is going to take this moment to bonus action.
Okay.
He is going to rage.
Okay.
And with Lucas's rage, he goes from a 6'4" ginger, pale-skinned hulk of a man. He kind of just creases over a little bit, and he looks back up and smiles, and he's got fangs now, and his like blue eyes are now just red. And he starts to wolf out as he becomes an 8-foot werewolf. Cool. With tail, claws.
Wow.
Thank you.
And with that, there's a round of that from the audience of some people like shocked, a few scared, but for the most part, everyone seems in awe, and it goes completely silent for a second. With a silence only broken by the judge calling out again, 3, 2, 1, go! And let's roll initiative. Once more. Okay.
21.
Okay, so 20 again. It's again. You go to take off.
Yep.
And the split second you get before her, she doesn't move quite as fast as she did before. She's still hands on the ground.
And as I'm running, I actually take a sort of left turn and I attempt to trip her with my tail.
Oh, to run past her
Run
and trip
past
her.
her and sort of slide, and it's my tail that will then she's running into as a trip and fall on your face kind of thing.
Okay, so is that a dexterity save or an attack you need to make for that?
Well, I can attack with my tail. It's a plus 10 attack. I can
Let's
do.
go for that, and then I'll do it. We'll see if that hits.
Ooh, do I have anything special from anyone? No, I don't. It's only a 14 to hit.
14 hits.
Okay,
14
cool.
hits. So yeah, that hits, and then let's have a dexterity saving throw. So she's got a 4, 5, 17.
Okay.
To sort of so with that you stumble her a little bit to the point that whatever she was going to do hasn't got that momentum.
Right.
But her chest or back does not hit the ground,
ground.
so the judge does not call it.
Then I will quickly get up, and then this time I will run towards her to do a headbutt to either knock her down or out.
Okay. So yeah, roll to hit on that.
An armed attack. 13.
13 won't quite.
No.
Okay. So let's roll a. Okay, so she as you run into her with this headbutt, she tries to almost grapple you to pick you up with that momentum. She doesn't quite. She struggles, but she is going to try just to sort of wind you and slow you down. She does try 2 quite strong punches to your chest, just to try and knock the wind out of you. So we have a 12 to hit.
No.
And the other is it's a 24 to hit.
Just about.
Okay, so the first one almost doesn't catch you square in the chest. Go on.
So after she attacks with the first one that misses, I can see she's going to attack, and I again use my reaction of my tail to see if I can block that second attack. My AC is 22, so no.
Okay, so yeah, she goes to hit you with the first punch, and it doesn't catch you square on the chest, and it rolls off your ribs. And again, the second one, you almost just brace and bulk yourself up, and yeah, she just doesn't hit any sort of weak point to it. You can almost see a very quick glimpse of panic go across her face, and it's sort of your turn to act.
Cool. Right, I'm going to attack with claws.
Okay.
Again, just trying to knock her down with them, seeing how hard I can hit. And when I attack with claw, I can follow up immediately with another one.
Okay.
So that's 21.
21 hits.
And nat 1.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
so yeah, it does not. It does not. So the first one hits, so
Yeah.
what damage is that on the claws?
That is a d6 plus 6, so that's 11, plus I'm raging, so how much is my rage damage? Plus 3, 11, 14 on
Okay.
one claw.
Okay, yeah, so it staggers her, and you can see sort of her footing starts to get a little bit weaker.
Okay.
And she tries at this point to almost back off and make a break. Do you let her? Or are you going to try and contest her? She's sort of now, she lets go and tries to sort of scramble back a bit to put like a bit of distance between you.
No, Lucas will then charge again.
Double
Charge in, yeah, double down.
down. Okay, so is this just an attempt to like grab her and push her? She's close to the ring, about 4 foot out from the rope at this point.
Yep, so what he's going to do is run towards her and again take a jump wrestling kick to the chest, double claws into her. He bounces back to the centre of the ring. Hopefully she goes out.
Okay, let's do a to hit to start with. As she's
I don't like this
scrambling
dice, it's too
backwards.
Unpredictable. 12. Don't like any of these dices.
Okay, yeah. So you do the launch and the kick. You hit
Yeah.
her. You knock her a couple feet, but it isn't quite
Quite
to
enough,
the
yeah.
to the degree. And she's going to grab hold of your legs
Uh-oh.
and just try and drag you sideways to drag you out of at least your feet out of the ring.
Yeah, okay.
So let's have an opposed strength check on that one.
Dig my claws into the ground.
She's a 22.
22.
22.
Nat 1.
Okay, so yeah.
Yes.
So you go for
How
this.
many Nat 1s have I had?
You go for this flying kick and just glance off the side of her, and seeing that she's already close to the ring, a quick glance over her shoulder, she grabs hold of your feet, drags you to the side, and then just taps your feet just outside of the ring. And then sort of rolls over onto her side and attempts sort of lying down, give you a handshake of, well done.
Yeah, Lucas will humanise himself at this point and reach out and accept the handshake. He's like, yeah, that was probably the best fight I've had in a while.
Excuse me. Remind me of the rules again. No weapons.
Is this the judge? Yeah.
Yes.
He says, yes, no sort of weapons. You can punch, you can kick, you can bite, but no swords or maces or anything of the sort.
My turn.
Excellent. Okay, and he gestures to you to step out.
Yeah, that's fine. I know when I'm beat.
Coastal Village undoes the top 2 buttons of her military jacket.
Okay.
Rolls up her sleeves and grins a horrible, catty, pointy-teethed grin at the lovely orc lady.
Yeah, she sort of stood in her position on the ring, sort of taking some deep breaths, sort of bending, put her hands on her knees, and then, okay, and again she takes up that similar sort of stance of like a runner ready to go.
Yet again, Bright Morning Star will come. Hey, I'm sure you don't need anything. No, ma'am. But I think you got this.
Thank you. I do. And she's just going to...
Wonderful.
Yeah. She's going to just flick her hand in the direction of the orc, and I feel really, really mean doing this.
It's okay.
Could you make a wisdom saving throw for the orc, please?
Okay. This is before he's called 3, 2, 1. Go. As soon as you step in the ring, you're doing this.
Oh. No, I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll
So
wait.
in that case, so you're ready with that, and again, yeah, the judge comes in, sees everyone's ready, and goes 3, 2, 1, go, and then we'll have a quick roll. Oh, you can do that first. Do that first, and then we'll have the roll for initiative.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, actually.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay. I've got 5.
Okay.
We're rolling well.
So, yeah, she's got a 23.
Oh, no.
This would be very, very funny.
So she's, but I mean, did you want to do your spell? Or you trying to slide that in just as he shouts go?
Basically.
Yeah, okay, so you go for that
so
first.
she can go ahead and have her go.
Yeah.
But as soon as the flick happens, she starts to shrink and shrivel until she is a little tiny cockroach. As Coastal Village casts polymorph.
Ooh, okay.
On her.
You can see the judge sort of stands there for a second, and you can see he takes out this notebook and trying to flip through it to see, like, is that allowed?
I asked the rules. You said nothing about
no
turning people into other
weapons.
things.
Yeah, and it sort of he just looks to the cockroach and very apologetically, like, it's okay.
You'll go.
Now, Daven, I'm no expert on a warlock, but that feels like a mighty strong spell. And we've got to do some performing later against like a dragony thing.
You know nothing of my abilities.
He wouldn't want you to have heard that.
Of course not.
From what I understand, the warlocks is they tend to fire pretty big, pretty fast, and then they're just eldritch blasts after that.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Oh well. Far be it me from to judge the young lady.
Okay, so eventually, this sort of as you're talking, the judge goes, "You have 10 seconds, and I'll revert it." And at that point, the cockroach sort of scampers out and just tries to run in circles and just avoid you for
Okay.
10 seconds. So, what are you trying to do?
So what I'm trying to do is kick the cockroach out of the
Great.
out
Okay.
of the ring.
So yeah, make an armed attack roll.
An armed attack roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's going to be
in that
fast
case,
and small. but
I'd like
go
to do
for
it with my with my hand rather
Yep.
than with my feet, because that's what my unarmed attack is.
Yep.
So that is a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
16 will hit.
Okay.
Do you want to know the damage?
Go for it.
On a cockroach.
On a cockroach. No, that's not right. Sorry, my D&D Beyond is as always playing up. Oh, so it came to a 4.
4 points of damage. Okay. So I'm gonna roll a dice of high or low as you kick it. I'll have you pick which is which. Whether the 4 points of damage is enough to kill the cockroach and revert her back to normal form. So, well, no, just take her back
So she
to.
just
Doesn't any
herself.
damage revert it back to its normal form? Was it just killing it?
If it
no, it's
loses.
Just killing.
Yeah.
it,
Cool.
Yeah.
So, what do you want, high or low? One, she reverts back and is a now very angry orc, or the other one, the cockroach survives and is going to be ringed out. Would you like high or low for which?
I prefer the cockroach to survive.
Okay.
I mean, yes. It just
Okay.
seems bad form just to. Otherwise, I would have just trod on it.
Okay. So I rolled high. So it survives. You don't knock the polymorph out of her, and the cockroach sails out of the ring, over the rope, into the ground, and again a slightly confused judge, but he, I guess, yes, a victory on behalf of the heroes.
Thank you. I offer down a little claw to the pincer of the cockroach.
Yeah, and with that, the judge just clicks his fingers and
And up she
casts
comes.
his spell magic, and she comes back and clever. And she does reluctantly, but there's the ounce of clever respect, and shakes your hands and.
Thank you. I wouldn't take you on in hand to hand. You are very good.
Yep.
I'll take that. Okay, so yeah, she makes her way back in.
Lovely.
And are you staying in the ring? Your team have your last chance left. Do you want to?
I am happy to tap out for somebody. If anyone would like to take on this wonderful, well, it won't be her, will it? It'll be something else.
How about
Final
the
competitor.
shiny flappy one? He looks like he can take a hit.
Well, okay. I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Now I know we can use magic.
She buttons her jacket back up.
Okay. Okay. So as you make your way into the ring,
My shield.
you
No?
can have
Yeah.
shields.
Oh,
Shields you
very
can have.
good.
Yeah.
So be careful how offensive you are with the shield.
And at this point, the judge offers out. There's a large wooden warhammer. Would you like this one for the final battle?
No.
Your opponent will be armed with a similar.
He really he looks like. That's
Okay.
not fun.
Okay.
No. I think that looks rather vulgar. I've got a small dagger, but if I'm not allowed that, that's fine. And
Okay.
he's gonna toss it to Daven. He really likes it.
Lucas is going to look at the warhammer though. He's not going to do anything with it other than just have a wield with it and stuff. But
Yeah,
not
it's-
at anyone. Just
It's
nice.
very well made. It's reinforced at the ones you get. It's kind of like a kid's toy, but it's been reinforced to really take a hit.
Here, have a go with this, and just hands it to Sia.
Xeheria takes the warhammer and she just falls straight over. I know, this is really cool, isn't it? I don't think I can.
Does he pick up Xeheria with the warhammer?
I'm having a great time. I really am.
I can see your little hooves.
Okay, so as you step into the ring, roll a perception check as the tent flap begins to move. Clearly this tent isn't big enough for something that's inside, as you can see sort of arms and elbows hitting the sides, but roll a perception check.
Okay.
Maybe I used polymorph a little bit too early.
See at this point, as the fight's starting to get set up, the judge is looking round to the rest of the party. He's suspicious. There's something going on.
I don't do nothing.
As he looks at Xeheria, she's like,
20. Not natural.
20. Okay, so at one point when this elbow catches the corner of the tent flap, you see some large creature inside, humanoid, but he seems to be taking off an apron of sorts, and then sort of just putting down this large ladle thing on a table inside the tent. and then sort of after a short while, out steps this huge sort of 8.5 foot tall Goliath barbarian as he sort of steps into the middle of the ring.
Does Lucas recognise this barbarian from the plug hole?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, mate, Flappy boy, you fucked.
I'm
you're
really
well fucked,
sorry. I do be really sorry for what I might. He's got this huge like wooden hammer, similar to what was offered to you, like strung across his shoulders. And yeah, he sort of looks to you and is like, I will be let you go first. And he sort of just stands there with his hands on this hammer. So no need to roll initiative. You can go, and the judge just goes, I guess, then go.
Let's see.
Annelisse, all peace in the Goliath. Taking that action. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take that action. You know, like, okay, we'll take it, but
I
anyone
know
else?
the Goliath, back from plug hole, champion arena fighting. The Flappy boy's dead. He's dead.
you know, we could try to help him a little bit. You know, I kind of.
So Bright Money said, "Oh, well, no problem. I mean, I think I've got this." And he's still been glowing. He kept the light going. He's just been casting the cantrip whenever he could.
Yeah.
And he'll just go, and just the light just explodes from him in this sort of 60-foot, sort of just like the sun has shone on Big. And can you do a dex save, please, against 18?
Okay, dex save against 18. No, he does fail that. What is this?
It's 48.
48 damage. Okay.
15 damage.
15 damage. Okay.
It's nothing.
Nothing too big. No.
Okay.
But I'm sort of hoping it'll do some sort of force damage. in this.
Yeah.
Is it radiant or?
It's
force?
radiant. Yeah.
It's
Full
radiant damage. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any force.
Okay. And is that your sort of your round of this combat done?
Yeah.
Okay. So he stands there a bit confused and then. Okay, I'll have my go. And he takes a few steps towards you, and almost with this, almost like a skip to his step, he just swings in this like low arc. He just swings this warhammer to almost hit you in an uppercut to the chest. So he's got that's a 22 to hit.
As he does it,
Yeah.
this explosion of light comes out,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast Flare, so he's doing that at disadvantage.
Okay. So it's a 22 on that one. That one's higher. That's it. That one's higher.
You hit him then?
Okay, so yeah, as this wooden hammer just crashes into your chest, the damage isn't too great. Well, I say that the damage on the dice isn't great, but that's 10 points of bludgeoning damage as this crashes into your chest. But yeah, roll a strength save to see if this hammer does knock you up off your feet.
He's go. A whole 0 to that.
We got
11.
11. So yeah, so as this huge swing hits you straight in the chest, it does lift you off the ground a few feet and back to putting you only about sort of 3 or so foot from the edge of the ring. And before you sort of get on your feet or get your footing, he almost spins around in a twirl, swinging this hammer in a wide arc as he takes a step forward to you, and it crashes into you in the chest again for maybe not, a 14 to hit.
That's a miss.
Okay, so that one, overestimating how much he pushed you back, this hammer just whooshes right past your chest, just missing you, and with that sort of, yeah, it's onto your turn as he spins back around and sort of ready, holding this with 2 hands again to knock into you.
Let's see what we can do.
Have you got any magic to push someone?
Do I have any Sorry, this is really boring.
In the meantime, if any of you spectate, roll a perception check for the rest of you.
Oh, I'm actually perceptionist.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Wow, okay.
17.
24.
Wow, okay.
18.
So, for anyone...
Like your lives.
Oh, thank you.
For anyone over on the over 15 then, so easily see sort of along his belt and like almost like a harness over his shoulders. There seems to be like heavy steel weights around it to sort of weigh him down and keep him grounded. With the natural 20, you will know embedded in the shoulder of this harness seems to be a small gemstone. If you roll an Arcana check.
Skills.
Yeah.
There we go. Arcana's a +3. 16.
Okay, so with a 16, always so sort of like if you're trying to figure out magic, it feels like a static in the air type thing, and you almost feel an absence of that coming from this gem. So it seems to be magic doesn't seem to go anywhere near this. That whole feeling doesn't seem to go anywhere near this little gemstone. But what have we got coming from Bright Morningstar and your retaliation to these hammer swings?
Okay, he's going to firstly, he's just going to cast some things on himself.
Okay.
So he's going to cast.
Fireball on himself.
That's it. Like it
Taking you all
is.
with me.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Enhancing his ability.
Okay.
So he will just become more ripped.
Yeah.
Sort of, you see him bulging, and he's got enhanced. He's got the ability of a bear.
Okay.
So no bull, a bull. He's got bull strength, so I've got
Okay.
advantage on strength checks. And my carrying capacity is doubled. That's helpful.
Okay. Okay. Is that bonus action? Or have you got
That's
action
bonus
too?
action,
So you can
yeah.
actually you can act with a quick sort of push or an attack or some maneuver
yes.
against him.
Yeah, he's gonna. He's like, well, I don't normally get my hands dirty, but okay. And he's just gonna run shield first. He saw the barbarian do it successfully, so he thinks this is the way forwards.
Against Rob.
Double or nothing, Annelisse.
I don't know about this actually.
Okay. So
Okay, double.
so roll, is that just like an opposed strength check? You have to just see if you could shove him back towards the. He's obviously going to be going back towards the middle of the ring because you're on the enter
Oh, I see.
part.
Okay.
Yeah, you're 2 foot from the rope.
Oh, can I retcon my entire turn?
Yeah, you're 2 foot from the rope.
We go back
He's
to the tent.
a bit in front of you. I'm not Paul. No.
Mean. So I am actually not going to give. It's the bull strength thing that I've decided to be more cunning, if that's okay, or attempt to be. So I'm actually going to go for Cat's Grace.
Okay.
Well, we are very graceful.
So he's got advantage on dexterity checks. And doesn't take damage from falling 20 feet. So that, again, useful.
Okay.
And he's going to use his turn to back away from Rock.
Ooh,
So he's going to back towards the edge of the ring.
Yeah.
And he's going to save the action to dodge.
Okay.
So he's going to use that whole thing to dodge out of the way.
Okay. Okay, and sort of as you're doing that, you can see he stands there for a second when he gets round to his round, and he sort of eyes you up. I'll just see if he can. Okay, so yeah, he eyes you up. And he's, I do be see what you're doing, but I'd like a challenge. And he takes a few more steps back, and he's going to go with an all or nothing. He just runs flat out towards you with his arms out wide. And just a attempt of he's either going to take you out and you'll hit the ground. You're both going to go out the ring, but you'll hit the ground first, or he's going to miss completely.
Postal Village is going to sidle up to the edge of the ring where Bright is, and just slyly tap her hand on his back and cast Jump on him.
Okay.
So that means that your jump distance is now tripled.
Okay.
Feeling good about this.
So he comes barreling towards you. What's your intent as this Goliath is running?
Oh, I mean, I've got sort of. I'm suddenly feeling more light on my feet, more able to move, and then I feel this sort of sense of springiness in my legs.
Okay.
Like Tigger.
Like Tigger. And so yeah, his aim is to jump in the air, sort of do some sort of somersault, I imagine, and land with Rob flat on his face.
running straight
outside
underneath you.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you run towards you, let's do a dexterity check on how late you leave this timing. Whether you're trying to leave it so he has no chance to react, or if you do it a bit too
He's definitely going to
keen.
be his aim. He's very.
Yeah. So
he's very
how?
keen
I
on
mean,
his
you'll
own
succeed,
ability.
but it's whether he has a chance to react or not.
Okay.
If you leave it to the very last second, or if you jump a bit early. So let's have a dexterity check.
So that just straight.
Straight dexterity check on sort
Don't
of
you have
your.
advantage because of your
Yes.
Yeah.
catness?
So at advantage.
Should be okay.
Be 18.
18, yeah. So you time it right. He's not expecting it at all, and you jump just at the last second, almost as he puts his head down to fully commit to this tackle. And he just hits nothing, and he just runs and goes over the ring and sees like this rope just pass by underneath him, and he's stopped by a tent that is a stall, and he just crashes straight through it, and then just sort of from this sudden crumple of canvas and wood and food, just hear a, "Oh, that was pretty impressive. I would have been giving you that win." And like, he doesn't move, he lies there.
Bright
and
Bright Monster will go over to him and he'll like congratulate him.
he's a-
Hey, well done, big man. I would never have beat you for strength. Look at the size of you.
I mean, I've been doing a lot of bits and pieces lately, and this is like a lot of fun, and so.
Well, you were excellent at it. I mean, I think you should probably stop the cooking and take this up full time.
Oh, no.
No.
You haven't tried one of his stews.
Oh, well.
They're amazing.
And he sort of looks around. He's over that way. I mean, if I do, when I'm finished up here, I'm going to be doing some stew. Oh, so it is on the house if you want some.
Oh, well, there's a mighty fine offer. Thank you very much. We will come past later, I'm sure.
Oh, and I got to one more thing. And he's sort of got this this battle pouch that's been on his hip, and he hands you, if Luke can find it, he hands you a little scroll. I'll be not knowing if this told you much about them, but your dragon, your little mecha dragon, will tell you more. And with that, he eventually climbs his way out of this wreckage and makes his way back over into the tent. And with that, the crowd cheer and disperse, and then you can see the judges sort of starting to like, anyone else want to battle the dwarf in a contest of strength, and you can see a few people starting to line up.
So he'll go back over to everyone and says, "Well, my friends, I don't normally get my hands dirty, so I think I did quite well."
I think you did excellent. I'm very impressed. Cough up, Daven.
Oh, Daven, my friend. Oh, can I have my dagger back?
Oh, what this? Oh yeah. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much. And yeah, this is like one and only weapon. He pops it back on his side. So he gave me a little note. Now I'm not the best at reading. For heroes' strength and mind would not buckle this night.
You can see with that the mech dragon on your shoulder starts to almost like twitch and come to life again, as if he's been inactive.
Wake up, buddy.
I see. You've gained a passage. Excellent. You must have been victorious. I assume it was fantastic. But
I was
am on
very
limited
victorious.
Battery. Good. So the passages, when it comes to the grand spectre towards the end, when you're chasing the dragon and fighting and doing all the amazing stuff, they're enchanted that if you read them aloud, you can alter the course of the battle. It will give you great boons or buffs, or if you mess up on something, the almost stars themselves will align and correct it and make sure you're successful. There's a few of them to be earned from the trials, actually.
Well, I say we do some more trials then, my people.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think we need one for the singers amongst us.
That sounds excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, more
Let
lovers
me-
than fighters,
We
really.
think we have.
Do you sing little hoof girl?
Xeheria.
Xeheria. Oh, actually, I think that's a very delightful name.
Oh my god, thank you. And Coastal Village is lovely. What is that? Is that like Is that like tabaxi? I don't know what tabaxi speak, but I'm sure it's that. Is it like that? Because it sounds like something you'd find on a map and like common, but I don't know if that's like a thing from your like.
It means a place where people live by the sea.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't.
How did you get that name, though? It seems a bit odd.
How did you get the name Lukas?
Well, parents gave it to me, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah, but coastal village. It just seems...
It's map related. I did a lot better than my brother Plughole.
Now I get it.
Okay. Okay.
Everything just for that guy.
Building to that, wasn't it?
Worth it all.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, yeah, Gliston is. So where is it then you would all like to try next? There's some archery type stuff for those of you that are good with a bow, or if you're fast, there's a race of sorts. You get to ride a blink drake in that one, or chase a blink drake in that one, or there is a performance type one as well, where you compete to see who can put on the biggest spectacle between us and some judges.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, let's do it.
Maybe we should do that one next.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was hoping there was going to be a fashion show, but
I can provide light.
lighting is everything.
It really
Lighting
is.
everything.
It really is.
Okay. So as you make your way off from this bit, you can see at this point a few people from the crowd start to like follow you. They don't stay long, but you can hear mumbles of like, "Oh, that's the heroes for tonight. That's our heroes." They sort of realise quickly. Sort of, you can see the wandering sort of officials of the event usher them to the side, like, "Yes, they are, but please do not bother them too much."
Oh, I like this.
Lucas appreciates not being bothered too much.
Yeah. However, you do have one sort of a fairly young, you assume, for an elf. She looks quite childlike. Burst from the crowd, and she brings over to you. She's got a sort of a leather-wrapped satchel, and she just pushes it into Xeheria's hand. She pushes it towards you. That's just from our family for the festival, and she makes her way off.
What, okay.
And
I've got a thing, guys. I've just handed this
Well,
thing.
that looks like one of your fans.
I mean, that would make sense, actually. Yeah, no, that's true. I did put some posters up saying that I was going to be here, so hopefully people will come. Maybe for like a little meet and greet or something. Gifts are lovely. It must be sponsored or something. Like, you know.
What is it? What is it?
I mean, it's a she opens.
Would you like someone to draw it as you open it?
That would be really good,
like
actually.
that.
And she pulls like a scroll out of her bag with a quill. She's like, "Oh my god, that would be brilliant! Thank you so much. That'd be really great for." I've put them about places, you know, so just people can see them. Yes, but she's gonna open the satchel.
okay, as soon as you open up and unroll it, it's sort of like a leather sheet with little straps across it, and it's full of very old but very well maintained sort of like tailor's tools, like snips and needles and all sorts of bits and pieces. You can see sort of Gliston sort of twitching his head side to side. I think you've been given a gift. I apologise for not explaining it sooner, but it's part of the tradition of the festival, as after the dragon had sowed its chaos and destroyed a lot of the land and towns and villages, it just became a thing that the villagers would take things they had from their homes, or trinkets or tools or anything for them that could help someone in the next town over. And people would just trade useful items across, and we keep that going in this festival, that if there is anything you have, find someone and give it to them, and it may be useful to them in the future.
Ooh.
You don't have to, it's just part of, it's if anyone comes up and tries to hand you random gifts, that's the reason behind it.
These are like tailor's tools and stuff. This will be really good for. I don't know. I guess, has anyone got any clothing that they want to be prepared? Because if I've got some things that can do that. I don't know how well I can do it myself.
Could you
What?
add like more sparkles onto me?
Oh my god! Yes, I will.
Oh yes, okay, just like cover me and like sparkles and things.
Xeheria's never been more excited in her life. She's running straight over to Annelisse, and
Yeah.
she is there, like trying to see if there's any like I'm sure she's got a pocket of glitter or something like that.
Yes,
Probably.
put more.
Oh, I've got glitter. Here we go.
Oh, lovely. Pass me that. And
It's
I
edible, but I don't know why you need that information, but it's there.
It's good to know. Just
It's
in
fine.
case,
It makes me taste nice as well. Go for it.
Now, Dave, after this festival, I feel like we should explore this
Edible
glitter. I'm quite.
Well, that's what you do with it, darling, yes.
Okay, so with a now much fancier looking party, you make your way over to the performance trial, I assume?
Oh, yes.
Yep. Okay. So we will take a break in a second, but just before we do that, so as you arrive at this one again, you can see it's almost into a field backed by a forest, and sort of a bit again away from the crowd. There's this huge sort of like a stage of sorts, sort of comes up about 30 foot high and sort of about 50 foot wide and 20 foot deep, and on the stage is two very elegant looking mages, you can assume by the way they're dressed, and the one has a staff and the other has a wand in his hand, and the judge again seeing you coming with Gliston on your shoulder. Another hero group ready to take on the trial of performance tonight, I guess.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Excellent. I'll give you a quick rundown. We'll whip up an audience and then we'll get right to it. So for this one, you can work in pairs. Any two of you can take stage, and your goal will be to start with in the first round. You will have one spell or one action or one thing each you will do, and you'll try and put on more of a spectacle and more of a performance than the competitors, and he gestures up to the other two mages already on the stage. Then in the second round you will have two things you can do, and in the third you'll have three. And in a best 2 out of 3 contest, whoever puts on the best performance will win a passage of the festival. Okay, and with that, if you're ready, take the stage and I'll whip up a crowd.
I guess it's me and you, Annelisse, is it?
Of course, Daven. Now, you know what kind of performance this is, right?
I'm not entirely
Oh,
sure.
here's your edible glitter, but you might need it.
I've plenty.
Oh, sorry.
Don't worry.
Let's do this.
What's this? What do you want to do?
So you normally go first. What do you want to do? I thought we could,
I don't know. Have you got a pole?
Daven, do I have a pole? I could get you a pole, don't
Yeah,
worry.
get a pole, yeah.
What's
You
a pole?
Play a bit of music.
Okay.
do this.
I'll
Right
play
on.
some music. I'll put some lights around you on the pole.
Yeah.
Take your top off. It's much better.
You can see just before he whips up the audience, he gives a few claps to his hand, and there's a few sort of assistants that go under the stage, and they come out with also any instruments you want, anything like that they have ready to hand. And then we'll pick up this trial then after a quick break.
What could it be?
I can't imagine.
Okay, so that's it. We'll be about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, 15, 20. Oh.
Yeah, for Twitch. Otherwise, obviously, for YouTube, the next episode will be carrying on. We'll see how far they get. They're doing pretty well so far. Luke's panicking for time, but that's fine. I will breeze through the rest of the trials and not get too sucked in myself. And we'll just see you all there.
There's something you have to tell the audience to do, though.
You
like,
do, yeah.
I
before I
do.
can play this.
I do, and it is... Oh, yes.
We're going to do it every episode. Remember.
I'm semi-drunk on cough medicine at the minute. So, go forth into the world and roll the damn dice.
Bright and Xeheria, Daven and Lukas, Annelisse and Coastal Village are doing trials of daring do and hopefully something to pillage. It seems the Bright mostly just gives off light, but have lost without the tabaxi. Will Davon give in to Bright's advances, or will he end up yelling, "Taxi!"
Did you rhyme tabaxi and taxi?
Bye.
As always, we are sponsored by the wonderful Critit UK. Critit is a family-run, UK-based small business who offer a wide variety of RPG gaming goods, all designed and made by themselves, including this amazing 5e compatible compendium, Glorious Taverns, featuring NPCs Annelisse and Daven, based off Robyn and Oliver from To Have and To Roll. And remember to use code RTDD10 at checkout to get 10% off your order.